Might be something in the water.
Could be. He doesn't smell like alcohol or anything like
95,
that,
no.
so he's not drunk. Okay, do you have decent on psychology?
In psychology, I've got 55.
Yeah, okay. You guys are
That's
very well
pretty good.
educated, yeah. You have probably decent psychology. No, you don't? 25 is good, actually. 5% is where you start, I think.
mine's
So
5.
25 is actually pretty good, and that's from mom. That's mom's psychology. Yeah, this guy's lost it. The room is a mess. You find out from that he's been sleeping in the belfry. He feels safer up there from the little folk, or the little people, or whatever the hell he's talking about. And he's got having some major issues. Did you make your spot hidden? Had you roll a few minutes ago?
Oh, that was a psychology check. I haven't done a spot. Oh, the spot hidden when I missed it.
Yeah.
You missed that one too. Okay. You don't notice anything like standing out in the town, in this room.
What's been happening? When did it start?
It's hard to get straight answers from this guy because he'll start to talk about something and it's like, wait, what was that? Was that it? Is there something in the corner? Is there something in the corner? Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's convinced. You get from him over the next hour of talking to him, or half an hour, that he's convinced they are out to get him. They want him for their own, is kind of what you're feeling. You don't, and it doesn't sound like it's like the townspeople.
Okay.
It's something. It's monsters. It's things in the darkness. It's things behind the trees. It's things under the ground.
Even though
it's
he's
things in the
incoherent,
corners.
I can't try to ask him. Why are they after you? Why do you think they're after you?
He doesn't know. He honestly doesn't know. That's one thing that you get. He does not know. They want him, and they're going to take him, and it won't be the same.
Where are
It'll be
they?
awful and blah. They're everywhere. They're all over the town. They're in every place that the Dudleys, they brought him. The Dudleys brought him. The Dudleys, they're dead. They're Dudleys, but they brought him. And he just kind of goes off onto another ramble that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Okay.
You guys did notice a couple of abandoned houses. This Carter here and Dudley over here that you passed were abandoned, by the way. Just FYI.
They said Dudley on them?
Yeah, is there
Well,
name
there's
on
no
the
name
mailbox
on
or
it.
anything?
Yeah.
It says Dudley on the map, but you don't know whose house it is.
But, okay.
Right,
they're
he's just showing us on the
Yeah,
map.
as players, I'm showing kind of where they are. You talk to your sister. I'm going to
Cousin.
jump back here.
I'm going to tell her about, because in her letter she mentioned something about her son, saying the hidden folk have made her husband
That's
sick. So
just
I'm gonna,
Caleb's imagination. Is
well,
what
no,
she
I'm
goes
going to
into.
tell her about some, like, see him now talking about these black spots, and I don't know if it's just from him traveling, and I'm concerned. And
Yeah, she just kind of blows that off as childish imagination, and can't give you her room because Dick's back there and
Oh, well,
he's
yeah,
sick.
obviously.
And she takes you back there to kind of see him, but she says, "Don't wake him up." And he just looks like
probably
he's just a
changing out
mess.
the cloth on his head.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And yeah, he's been ill for several weeks, and the doctor doesn't know what it is. But he's not getting any better. He's not really getting any worse, but he's not getting any better. She says they'll put Samuel up with the boys in the loft, and you can sleep out by the fire in the other room, because she's going to sleep in here again tonight. But it just sounds like
So
she's having a hard time.
she's been sleeping in there with them and
She has
everything,
been.
and he's
And she seems she looks tired.
She hasn't caught
She's
anything.
very tired.
She's
But she doesn't
working
look sick.
for both of them.
Yeah.
So
But she doesn't look sick or anything like that.
Okay.
Over here. What are you doing? You going around trying to sell?
Yeah, I'm still going around trying to sell.
Okay. You probably make a couple of sales that day. It's usual in this kind of case for you to try to just find somebody who you either make a sale to or you hit it off with and see if they're willing to give you a room or let you stay in the barn or whatever.
Yep.
Usually try to get a room, usually try to get their room so that you can sleep in the bed and they can sleep on the floor.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to do that, you're sure. These backwoods people, they don't know how to. And you want free meals too.
Yeah.
So you're going around and trying to sell. You guys have loaded the logs up, and Calvin Jones, isn't that who you guys were dealing with? Caleb Jones, thank you. He brings you out some lunch. Consists of some cold meat and some cold cooked potatoes, probably from the night before, some greens, that kind of stuff. You have a really good filling lunch. he eats with you. His wife, Felicity, comes out. They all, it's cold, but then they kind of almost, not really a picnic, but they stand around John. He stands around talking to you about Cornwall, what's going on. Cornwall Bridge. Tells you the fact that this fella up the road that lives in the church has gone crazy. It sounds like, not the church, the fella up the road in the school has gone crazy. And is kind of pointing you out some landmarks, points you out the old Dudley house has been abandoned since the man died some years ago. That one's been abandoned. Looks more like a cabin. The Dudley house does. Points out the Carter house. That one's been abandoned for a while. But other than that, it's just being friendly and talks to you a little bit about your trip back and blah blah blah.
I'm gonna tell him, has anybody come through here complaining of a lost purse of money?
Yeah. He says not to his knowledge, and he knows what's going on in Dudleytown. You know, that kind of pride there. But no, nobody's complaining. Well, you got the children. Oh, I lost a penny. I lost a penny.
Yeah, well, I kind of hold up the bag and I found
jingle, jingle, jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost that.
Well, that would be mine.
So glad you found that for me.
He wants to see. He wants to see the cash.
Like,
He's like, and his eyes just goggle because it's so much money. He's like,
yeah, somebody's pretty worried about.
I don't know of anybody that's lost. How much is in there?
I have not counted it.
My God. No, I don't know of anybody that would have lost that. There's nobody in this town would have that amount of money.
That's what I'm saying, like somebody coming through.
No, we don't have many travelers past through Dudleytown. And he kind of points out that the roads don't really go anywhere that you can't get to another way easier.
Yeah.
Because with Dudleytown is actually above the plain here in Connecticut. So you have to go up to get to Dudleytown, and then you got mountains that are even over that, and then you have to go down any of the sides in order to get out of it. It's not a place you want to go through to get anywhere.
Okay.
And he points that out to you. You didn't necessarily know that.
And I'm playing that.
But he says, no, people don't generally pass through Dudleytown unless they have business in Dudleytown. There's just easier ways to get to other places. And so the last people that passed, he didn't even remember when the last people came through this town. No, he
I'm
doesn't
gonna ask
remember.
Caleb if he could look at the horse.
Oh yeah, he takes a look at the horse, and yeah, he says you don't want to have this horse pull a load for a few days at the very least. He says he can put the horses up in his barn if you want, and y'all are welcome to stay in the hayloft. He seems anxious because he obviously wants to get that wood where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
But that's the only anxiety you're
There's
getting off of
nobody
him.
where we can rent a horse, and nobody has a horse that we could rent and trade.
We don't have any horses in this town. I think we pull that load because you got
I
two
know.
big
Yeah.
stock horses, and the horses that you've seen have been kind of just nags for pulling a plow. That's pretty much all they've got in this town. You haven't seen any big wagons, anything that'll pull a big load.
When does the mail come through?
Once a week. No, actually it doesn't. The post office is down. There is a post office down in Cornwall Bridge, this tells you. And somebody goes down once a week and picks up everybody's mail who has some and brings it back into town. There's no actual post office in this
No,
town.
what I'm asking is when does the next person go?
Usually they go on Tuesday.
That's tomorrow. You said Monday.
Did I? Yep. So yeah, usually on Tuesday.
Okay.
It's usually pick a name out of a hat here. Who's in the White House?
Well, that's James Madison.
Roger Miller. He usually goes down. He finds his time to go down and bring us back the mail.
Do you have pencil and paper so I can write my?
I'll have to look for some of that. All right. And he manages to scrape together something for a writing implement, and it's actually a pen, a quill pen, and so he's got a little bottle of half-dried ink, and he gets you there's a little scrap of paper on the back. It looks like it was used for some kind of accounting or figuring, and he lets you have that. It's a tiny little scrap of paper.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to
But
write.
there's room that you could fold it, and then you can address it if you want.
Yeah, I want to do that and
Okay.
to send a letter to.
To your boss.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does
Yep.
have a name.
Okay.
To Buell saying that horses are injured. We will be, later than.
Okay.
expected.
Are you telling him that you're sending this letter and all that?
Yes.
Okay. He seems real relieved to hear that. He's like, oh, good. And you get the impression that this is a man of business, and once he shakes his hand, he wants the deal done.
Yeah.
The money's going to change his hands, and then the goods change hands. So he seems
He's like-
he doesn't seem anxious for you guys to go. He wants those logs where they belong.
Yeah.
Is what
And
you're picking up.
we're gonna keep the logs on the wagon. So as soon as
He
the
doesn't
horse,
have a problem with that.
as soon as the horse is ready to go, we're good. Because I want to get this load.
And while they've been doing all of that, I've been taking the horses to the barn.
Okay,
setting
yeah,
them
you
up
can
in
take the
there.
horse to the barn. There's stalls that you can put the horses in. There's feed in there. There's a well not too far from the barn that you can draw water from.
Yeah, I'm
Fill up
gonna
top
just
of
set
water.
the horses
And
up.
so you get the horses set up in there, and he says y'all can. The barn loft has got plenty of hay, and should be plenty warm for you. You're welcome to stay, and you get the impression that he's going to feed you while you're here,
Yeah.
and we'll keep you set up. You can't. You're trying to sell, and you're trying to help around the house,
We're
basically,
working farm.
probably. Okay. And Samuel's probably off playing with his cousins.
No, he's working.
Oh. Come on, Samuel. You can carry that bucket of water.
Yep.
Slosh.
Well, his cousin's been helping too. You know what you do.
Yep. Okay. Other than these events, the rest of the day passes pretty much uneventfully. Oh, you want one more thing? Or are you going to make me a prop?
No, I'm gonna do something. You can do with what?
Okay,
But
okay.
I'm doing something right now that's happening before whatever this happens.
Okay. You find this one that's marked school down here is like it's like a common house. It's like a place for people to meet. It's a meeting house, basically what it is. Knock, 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 knock. Your cousin goes and answers the door, and it's this fella.
I'm just gonna kind of like stand behind her and go, "How are you?"
Doing pretty good.
Oh, do you
I'm
know
gonna-
this fella?
Yep, I'm gonna let Ann know that he traveled with us, and we're fine. Thank you.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I heard someone was sick in
Nope,
this
we're
house.
fine.
They could really use some
Nope.
of this elixir.
We're fine. Thank you.
It'll cure them right up.
Wait, it'll cure him right up?
It'll cure them.
And
What is this? What is this? What is it? What is it?
It's Dr. McGillicuddy.
You've noticed there's like 3 or 4 of these on the different ones
Yeah.
on the shelf in the
yeah,
kitchen.
and I'm just gonna.
It's Aleister
Okay, you
McGillicuddy.
talk to this lady, and she's more than willing to buy a miracle elixir for her.
And I'm trying to put a stop to it.
Okay. Okay.
In a polite, kind,
Let's
nice,
see.
womanly
Have you got
way.
a persuade? What's your persuade?
30.
Yours is only 30, or fast talk, whichever's higher. Fast talk or persuade. What's your
Fast talk is 65.
65. Okay, so I'm gonna do that against your persuade.
Okay.
So he's trying to talk to him about it. You're going to try to say, no, he doesn't need it. He's got plenty of those.
What is this?
You've got snake oil up there. I saw
Double
it.
zeros?
And you've got 2 other miracles.
That's fail.
Yeah, it's a
I
massive
failed it.
fail.
I had
Dude, that's a
56.
crit fail.
Well, it doesn't
What did
matter.
you roll?
He
You
failed.
rolled
Zero.
0, 0. Yeah, that's bad. That's his.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
failed.
So you're trying to sell it. You can see she's getting angrier and angrier about you, trying to take advantage of her cousin, obviously. And in the end, you tell me if this would be something that you would do or not.
That should have been like a sure
She
sale.
comes over to kind of look at it at the bottle in your hand, and then she nudges you, and it goes out of your hand and hits the ground, and it breaks on the ground. You wouldn't do that. If you wouldn't do it, then you don't do
No,
it.
I'm
Okay,
I'm
okay.
a kind,
Good. Then you
very
don't-
religious,
Okay, good.
very like
Then you don't do that.
tries to stay in
But
my.
she persuades her cousin
Mostly.
because you failed your check, but
He
He
failed
totally
hers.
whipped it,
you
yeah.
pretty much can. She just doesn't seem convinced by your talk. But what you do get from her is she does point you in the direction of again Widow Hagley for a place to stay, and what you do get from her is names of other people in town and kind of where their houses are. So you get information. She seems very taken by you, very kind with you. Your parents are 12, and so you make kind of a good contact out of her. You know, you love the fast talk, and there's no way she's buying your stuff.
But I'm gonna keep an eye on the house. Come back.
Oh, you're gonna okay.
I'm gonna keep an eye on the house and see when she leaves.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I got it. Okay, but he's not saying that, so.
Right, I know.
Okay, so where do you want us to try to spend the night? You gonna try to get Widow Hagley to put you up for the night?
Yeah.
I trust those
You go ahead. She's willing to put you in.
I'm gonna travel with
Okay.
him
That's the
for-
one.
But she
sure
does want
sale.
to taste of your elixir. That's kind of the price. And she fixes you a nice meal.
And for a possible
Anything else you want to do that day?
I'll go back to the house or to the old lady's house.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep, that makes total sense. Okay, I'm sorry, you're what?
I'm going to tell William I'm here. I'm going to look into this. I'm going to
That
go
kind of
back.
seems to help. He wants a blessing.
I'll get out my rosary.
And all that stuff, and he prays to you.
And
He's
I'll
Catholic.
get out one of
Most
my-
of the people in this town are Catholic.
I got a bottle
Yeah,
of holy
yeah.
water and I dab it, and I will bless him and the school.
Okay. So you're putting a blessing on him in this school. It doesn't really. He's thanking you a lot. It doesn't seem to have calmed him down.
Okay.
But he's very grateful, very, very grateful. He wants you to stay here. He says you can stay in my bed. The bed's been overturned. You can stay in my bed. He doesn't make any attempt to like clean the room or anything.
Okay,
He
I can
tells you
stay
you can stay
here,
here as long
but
as
I
you
have
want.
to. But I left my stuff back in.
Right.
And I'll go get that.
and he's real nervous about you leaving, but and he slams the door and bolts it behind you when you leave.
Okay.
You go and get your bag. It's still just sitting in the yard next to the loaded wagon. Nobody's touched it. And you can come back when you knock. You have to go through the whole, who is it? Is it really you? Is it them? Or are you really not them? Maybe you're them. And it takes you a while to convince him to let you into the building.
Okay. Once I get back in, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing a thorough search of the school to see what's going on.
Are you going to clean it up while you're there?
I'm going to do what I can to clean.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
It's more of
if
picking
So that you
up
can
and
search.
writing things.
yeah,
Yes.
if there's like rotting foods, like I'm going to start picking that up.
There are
Stuff
some
like
that you can toss out.
Pizza
This is,
boxes.
and this is
There's
also,
food boxes. There's
the Chinese
There's
food
a
might
dom-
still be
there's a
good.
I know.
Okay. You clean up the farm. It looks like the rye is growing wild. There's a lot of weeds. It looks like he has not been tending to his field in quite some time. There's a small barn. You go out. The animals are dead. It looks like they have just been ignored for weeks. And he didn't have much. There was something. Yeah.
Dehydrated.
There's probably a horse. Yeah, the dehydration
Yeah, they
probably
were.
got them. It looks like he might have had a goat or two. There are some chickens in the yard that have managed to survive. Everybody make me another spot hidden real quick, just as a general thing that you might have noticed around the town.
Me too.
He
Yes,
didn't
please.
smell of alcohol or anything like
No,
that.
no, no.
I
He
got
does not
it.
smell at all about that.
35 out of 55.
You made it.
11 out of 50.
You did too.
It's a
Did you
10.
make it spot hidden?
I rolled a 10. Like, 25.
Okay.
Oh, but also I want to tell the kids something, the other kids,
Okay.
like, that I did see the thing.
Okay, you're telling me.
I told them I did see the thing.
When you, he says, the thing, don't you mean the thing?
Oh, yeah.
That's the older brother.
I only saw one thing.
You were lucky. Did you make your spot hidden? I'll get
No.
back to you in just a second to continue this. Everybody else notices there's no dogs in this town. You haven't seen any dogs or cats except that
Crazy guy.
old crazy guy's
Crazy
house.
guy's
All the animals look kind of dumpy. There's a few chickens in all the yards. You know, everybody keeps a few chickens for the eggs. Like the horses that you spotted, or the goats, or whatever animals.
Almost kind of
Yeah,
like
probably a
a
couple
really
million.
poor town.
Yeah, it's a really poor town, and the animals are just, and they all look like tired.
Glazed
All
over.
the animals are just kind of like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Natalie. What's his name? Caleb. Caleb says yes. Some of us can see him. Some of us can see him. You gotta watch out when you talk. You gotta watch out. And you know it says you're talking about him. He's looking at him, but he seems very nervous.
So the black stuff is like,
He says, yeah.
because
He grabs you by the hand and he shows that one that's there. And you have a couple of speckles on your clothes because you got hit by the water stuff.
yeah, because there was this water stuff coming out of the trees and I looked up and I saw this weird creature.
That's right. He's gonna get you. You're not going home. You're never going home.
Oh my gosh.
And he seems sad about that too. This kid seems really sad about that. It's not like he's gloating or even like
He's
evil.
concerned about it.
He's just, and they're not. When he looked at your hand, that's the only time he actually even touched you. And then they stand off.
And they're very careful when they touch
Yes,
his hand. Like,
because we picked up, there was these coins and they were damp and I saw this black stuff all over everyone when they were picking up all these coins.
They don't seem to know what that means, but something happened. Y'all did something. Y'all did something bad. You did something bad. And you tell them the whole story about the horse's foot, and they call those fairy holes, fairy caves. They say the whole place, they're everywhere. That's where they live. They live over right at the the Dudley house. The Dudleys brought him from England. The bad hippies.
Yeah,
live in
that
a hole.
makes sense now.
Yeah, and they live at the Dudley house. And this kid seems scared to death. And he keeps looking around, and his brother keeps paying attention to him. Because his brother doesn't look around like he does.
So does that mean the horse stepped on it?
Maybe he stepped on one.
Maybe the horse like looked at it and like it got petrified, then stepped on it and it just got really scared.
Little brother's not looking around at all. And and he tells you this too. Christopher can't see him. Christopher can't see him. Some of us can see him. Look, we can't all see him. That old Fitzsimmons. Fitzsimmons shoots at him. I think he can see him too. But I don't know why.
Yeah, I think he saw it.
You have this conversation. Yeah, it's very creepy, and you're getting a sense of sympathy from them. You're the cousin. You cousins usually can get along, at least until they get to know each other and either hate each other or like each other. And some you get lucky, and you've never met these boys
And we're
before.
there to help them, so
Right.
that
You've never met the boys before. They seem like nice boys. They seem a little scared. Okay, so you're settling in there. You'll be sleeping out in the main room. And then Samuel is supposed to sleep upstairs with the boys. You guys have a place in the loft. You went in and got the horses done. You kind of fiddle-faddle around the farm. You probably throw in and help with some chores. You talked to little Hagley. She's got you set up for the night. You've got your bags back to William Smith, wasn't that his name? William Smith's house. And I've got a ton of names here because I named everybody in town, but most of them are people that aren't in the town. And the night ends. By 2 o'clock in the afternoon, this entire valley is like thrown into shadow from these surrounding hills. It's dim. It's kind of dreary. You all have supper that night. You have supper with your people. You manage to. You probably are going to have to go around, Scott, to another house and ask them if they can provide some food. That you're here with Mr. Smith and there's nothing to eat in this house, and if they could follow their good Christian charity.
Is there a general store here?
Nope, no store. This is more of a town like Melbourne or Mina. It's more just a group of people who have to live close to each other.
I would actually, okay, I could even offer to pay them a little bit something just to get us by.
Okay, no, they're not going to take your money, but they're willing to help out. One of the who's closest to that? Where's the map? Oh, you got the map. You probably go over to the house next door. Looks abandoned. The one that's directly next door. You walked over towards that, and all the shutters are pulled up. It's a nice house. It's a little pillbox 2-story house. That looks like it's not been lived in. It's all dark. The next one is Crazy Guy's house. You can go. Do you want to go talk to him about? See if he'll.
crazy guy.
Yeah. Do you want to? Yeah, the cat guy.
Yeah, I'll go talk to him because he seems to be the other crazy one that we have
He's-
something in common with.
He's on the porch again.
I think Samuel's got his name. Because one of the kids mentioned it.
Oh yeah. Samuel probably doesn't name. He's probably already forgotten.
Yeah.
He's still on his porch.
Fitzsimmons, I think. Elijah Fitzsimmons.
Oh, you did hear a name from him then. Okay, good. As you're approaching his house, it looks like one of the cats. One of the cats is next to the house. It looks like, you know how cats sometimes roll around and it looks like they're fighting something and there's nothing there. It's just they go kind of crazy and they're being silly. That's exactly what it looks like. This cat is kind of jumping around, hissing and spitting and swiping at the air and biting something. And as you're approaching the house, you see the cat stops and looks up at you. And then he kind of, before you just thought it was a cat acting silly. And then the cat goes down and like puts his teeth together around nothing. And then he backs up, almost as if he's pulling something that you can't see underneath the house.
Good guy, Oh, and he mentioned they look like they've been eating. I'm like,
Well, what would have been crazy is like if we went down a spot and hadn't seen the grass
Yeah.
parting as it's walking.
That's weird. That's really weird. And then the cat disappears. The house is actually up about a foot. It's up on little stilts, to get it up off the ground. And it's more of a cabin than a house. It's pretty roughly made. And Fitzsimmons that's on the side of the house. So Fitzsimmons on the porch didn't even notice that. He didn't see it. But several cats are still on the porch just like laying on their backs and lounging.
Being cats.
Yeah, being cats. And he's sitting there and he sees you coming. He takes another pull on his jug.
Mr. Fitzsimmons. I take
Father?
it you know William Smith?
Yeah, I know William Smith. Smith's gone crazy, ain't he?
I was just over there visiting him. Saying he's seeing things.
Poor man. Poor man.
Seems like, from where you're talking, you might know a little bit of what he's been seeing or what's going on.
Well, he's been seeing some strangeness, I would say. Wouldn't you say?
And I mean, I saw those. What is your guys' name?
I'm
No, Alexander.
Him? McGillicuddy?
The salesman that was with us. I mean, I saw
Oh,
the
that
black dots
medicine
on
man?
him, and then they want to fade it away. But is there? Do you know what's going on, or what's? So there's been a lot of weird things going on since we've gotten into town.
You having trouble with the Dudleytown curse, are you?
Dudleytown Curse.
Yeah, this town's been cursed since the Dudleys came over. They stole from the king over in England. Well, their great grandpappy did. 100 years ago, 200 years ago, I don't know. Their whole family's cursed. They came over here back in the 40s, and they brought it with them. They brought something with them, something wrong. They
Wouldn't that be after? I thought we were like around the war.
1740s.
Oh.
They 1740s, 1750s, or 40s or 50s. Abiel, he kind of points to the house next to the school, the nice one. Squandered his savings, squandered all his earnings, died at age of 90, 1799. Mad as a loon. That's his house there, and then Nathaniel Carter bought that in 1759 from him, and then things started going wrong from Carter. He ended up leaving Dudleytown in '63, moved up to New York somewhere, but it followed him. One of his children died of illness in October of the next year. His wife and another child were murdered by Indians, burned down the house, stole his remaining 3 kids. Carter had not been there, but he was hacked to pieces on his way home by them same Indians. There was a couple daughters, but they were sick. They were mad till they died. His brother, Adoniram, he remained in Dudleytown in that house in '74. The whole family struck down with cholera when it hit the area. Sick house been left empty ever since. And then the original Dudley house is that one. It kind of points to that another, like a cabin. That was his brother Gideon's. He died mad too. The curse got him. You put it on. You put yourself into it yourself, haven't you? You ain't got many teeth left. Sorry.
All I know is what happened is
He takes
we
another
were
big swig of rye.
traveling.
Hey, preacher boy, won't.
No.
Father, you sure?
I abstain.
You sure?
Yes.
You might change your mind about that. And he
We
takes
were
another big old
traveling, and then the horse stopped. He stepped in a gopher hole, I believe. He just started shaking. Well, we got his paw,
Yeah.
or his hoof out.